Yeah, hi guys. This is my reshoot video here about your little mental toolbox. I'm gonna just roll with it here and redo this demonstration because it's really important that this is done in a very orderly fashion, which I have constituted that I did not have. I'm gonna go through here a lot of tools that I have developed in my school and how to use it in a box as well. Now, some parts of this might seem a bit cruel as we go on, but things is used in a symbology here. It's very important. It's just as a metaphor uh, as emotional and traumatic things can be. To fully express those things, you need maybe to break something. Um, yeah, let's start with this then. Yeah, so as a representation of the mind is this cardboard, and the whole green area together with this is reality. Mind and reality is both of this physical plane in this model of thinking. Here is my red flashlight of awareness, conscious awareness. You can have it outside or just check into your mind, your little Mordor temple there. Yeah, and it should be on the shelf here as a flashlight or awareness. It's supposed to look out, but sometimes we need to look within, but still have at least a bit of awareness outside if you happen to be a parent. I have a notebook here as a representation of what would be your mental hard drive. Here you have the information, the memories that you carry with you uh, as it accumulates during your lifespan. Here is our mental picture book, as well as a representation of your mental hard drive. You have pictures in your mind simply, or that is something you can do. You don't play up movies from this one. You play up pictures from this one. So this could go into the mind from this place. That is also part of your of reality, but your memory is not part of your mind. Your mind conjure it up like this in still images, not movies. You cannot interact with memories. Then we have our little question box. And here is the question we ask ourselves. It's important to have it in a box because you can put a question in here uh, so you don't have it as a mental question as you walk on. You can put questions aside, for example, when you need to put more focus on work, for example. Now we have a representation of ourselves here, or the me, with that flesh that we are, with all its knowledge, or the knowledge that you carry and can take in as a soul, as information, so you can describe it to others, or you can use that to utilize yourself in planning. And here we got Ohana, little Moby. And I write with this with a pen now, so I put in Moby here. There we have that. So these are high priority figures. Here is a really awesome debt that I know, representation of. And here is my strategic, represented as a general. This here is the king. So these are the ones that you carry as important people in your memory bank. Those you high value. Then we got these kind of guys that might be a memory that keeps interfering, because even though you have decided to end a relationship with that person, you carry it with you as a role and memory as a role, rather than putting it aside in the back. And as a representation of when an end rolls, when you end a role, you write the memory here, the person's name and role. And so you don't really need to mentally think of that person anymore. I use a hammer. You can use something less dramatic, but here we go. Beheaded. Sorry for ruining this, Eva. It has great purpose. He was a worthy sacrifice, simply. And here is the box of corpses. And I want to take up a special one here. It's a photo of the little brat me that I once was as a child. He's dead now. Now I'm an adult. Then we have these less important pawns in your life. People you need to have memories by, simply as a representation. We can put them up in groups. I use a lasso for that. It is a representation for, oh, these are together. Yeah, like that. They are lovers, I know them. And they are, for example, could be an employee. One could be a web developer. One could be, let's see now. Oh, well. A strategic manager, for example. Or one might be a professor or something like that. These are people you have gathered information about, you might talk with, you might work with, and they are real persons, but for you they are static. As you learn about them, your image might get clearer, but people usually don't change that much if they're not into super much self-development. But then usually they somehow end up here by high investment of emotional time you put into them. And then we have a timeline here that we can watch. For example, as we would be in the now, then we would look outside, but we might look inside and think about what we are doing together with another person or several persons. And you might find that outside your own group, as you watch in, you might have two evil enemies. You might have Russia here or something like that, and You might need to do some type of evaluation of the situation as you order the other persons to do the best possible thing in the scenario you are in. Pew, pew. Yeah, you get me, right? So, but as time goes on, this becomes memory. It goes back on the timeline, and you might look back. Then this is a static memory. It doesn't change. And if you want to look at it, you take this out, your mental pictures, still pictures, because usually it's tied to positions you are put into these situations. And sometimes people heckle you around, tell you stuff about you that you are supposed to speak about yourself, and that creates something that you carry with you. And you put that down in these unbreakable jars. Okay, don't throw stuff away. Simply. Yeah. There was one more player I was supposed to put in here. Where is she? The White Queen. Yeah. Ohana rules, man. I'm gonna do that afterwards. Yeah, so that was my video presentation of your mental toolbox, simply. Anyhow, this is Roman saying goodbye.